back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Avery. I'm 24 years old and I make videos all about personal finance and budgeting. So if that's something that interests you, feel free to subscribe. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a video that I haven't done in a few months. It's going to be a monthly spending recap video, so what I earned and what I spent in the month of October. I decided I needed to get back into making these monthly recap videos because it's like if all of my videos are about budgeting and none of it's about the follow-up, well, that kind of defeats the purpose, of reflecting on your budget and seeing how well you did and how much you spent and how you want to work better towards your goals in the following month. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do today. So overall, in the month of October, it was a pretty good income month, but it was also a pretty high spending month, and we'll get into that in more detail. As I'm using the budgeting app called YNAB, or You Need a Budget. So that's how I like to not only record my budget, but also look at my spending reports and income reports and use that for further projections and analysis when it comes to my financial goals. So I'm on the income versus expense page here. And so far, we're just going to look at the income. I brought in $3,973.50 between all income sources, which is just primarily my full-time job and a part-time bakery job. So this was a really good income month for me. I might even be my highest income month of the year. I would have to take a look. It would have been nice to break 4,000, but honestly, this is so far and ahead of what I normally earn, so I'm not too worried about it. And then there's a spoiler alert here. I do have a net positive inflow somehow with this, even though I had a higher spending month for me of $994. So let's go ahead and go into the spending. As you can see, I spent a total of $2,978.97. So that's almost $3,000. And I'll get into it further on what was costing me so much money this month. So first category we'll look at is housing. This is usually the most straightforward category for me. I spent $858 on rent, and then I spent $2463 on household. Household stuff is pretty straightforward. It's like toothbrushes, toilet paper, things like that. Let's go back out into my focus on now category. These are categories or just like spending things that I am focusing on each month. So if I click on that, we'll see the culprit of such a large amount of my budget, and that's my health, beauty, and clothing category. So if I click on this and look at the expenses, I spent over $270 at Athleta. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. That's a athletic clothing store. And the reason why I did that is because, one, I was feeling very impulsive that day. I had some more free time than I normally do because I was off for a doctor's appointment, and I was just killing time between when I had to stop working and when the appointment was. And I decided to go to that store, and I had decided that I wanted to buy some more workout clothing for my cycling classes. And honestly, I was kind of influenced a bit because the clothing store is right next to the spin studio, so I see everyone coming in these cute outfits and I'm coming in looking like a bum, and I just don't really feel very good with my self-esteem when I'm looking like that, especially when I'm trying to better myself. So I bought some clothes and they were quite expensive, but honestly the quality of Athleta's clothing is very, very nice. In comparison to some of the Dick's Sporting Goods leggings that I have, it's like a night and day difference on the quality, so I don't really regret it. And then if I keep going, I also spent money at Ulta. I bought some hair products that cost a good amount of money. I'm trying Olaplex, and honestly, I really like it. If you've ever tried the Olaplex shampoo and conditioner, you can really tell the difference, in my opinion, between just lower quality or lower price, shampoo and conditioner. For example, the shampoo, when I use it, it makes me feel like I'm actually at a salon getting my hair washed. It really has that feel and consistency, which I'm pretty sure is the point. So yes, I did get some hair products. I went to the Levi's store and spent money there on jeans, which I really love. And I went to TJ Maxx because I needed to get some clothing for my work conference, which I had this month. And honestly, I feel like honestly, I'm saying that word too much, but I don't really regret that purchase either because I know I can just use that clothing in the future for future work events. So everything that I bought, I know I'm going to use, and I've already used quite a bit. So as long as I am getting use and value out of it, I'm not too worried about it, if that makes sense. Moving on, food. I spent $376 on food. It almost looks like I'm like square on, because if you've watched my budgeting videos, currently I'm budgeting $50 for coffee, $125 for dining out, and $150 for groceries. So that's a total of, oh, could I not do the math? No, that's like, what is that? Oh wow, this is awkward. So 150, 200, 325. Okay, so I'm over budget, I guess. But I spent $207 on dining out. This was a very dining out heavy month for me. Even when I wasn't paying for it, I was still eating out quite a bit. Like, I was eating out for my work conference a lot, and all the meals were not being made at home, obviously, because I wasn't home. I was eating out a lot because I was going to different, like, I'm just hanging out with friends or my boyfriend and everything, and maybe they're covering the food. So even with all that, I still spent over $200. And I even spent some money in cash that's not accounted for in this budget, at like a fair. So I need to either rein it in or just admit to myself that I like to eat out more than I like to cook right now. And I think the reason for that is because if we take a look here, I only spent $111 on groceries. And with the price of groceries nowadays, you guys know that's like completely insane to spend that little on groceries. But I managed to do it, and it's because I don't like cooking right now. And I realized the reason I don't like cooking is because my doctor has me on a low sodium diet, and all low sodium food just kind of like tastes like shit. Like, truly, like, there's no other way around it. Like, your body kind of craves like higher sodium diets, especially American diets. So your body gets used to the higher sodium intake and it begins to crave it. I don't really have like sodium cravings. I am just a person that, like, if my food is boring, I don't feel that excited with eating it. Like, my sodium like tolerance is quite lower now. Like, I can eat things out and I can't finish it because it's just way too salty for my own personal taste, and I used to never have that issue eating something like that before. A good example would be like a hamburger from like a restaurant. If it's too salty, I just like cannot eat it. But when I cook at home, I'm not adding much sodium at all to any of my food, and I'm buying lower sodium like ingredients. So it just combines together to make an overall very blah meal. So I'm not sure if I should just cut my losses on that or keep experimenting with it, or just trying some different meals, maybe look into like specifically low sodium like recipes. But if you have any suggestions, leave them down below. And then finally, I spent $57.01 in coffee, so a little over my $50 target, but that's not too bad. And that's what's been going on with food lately. And if I take a look here at health and fitness, I spent $149 on my cycle bar membership from the cycling studio. So it was $139 for the actual membership, and then $10 for a stupid late cancellation fee, because I had to cancel because I went and visited my mom in the hospital instead. Is what it is, but I think it's kind of ridiculous that you can spend that much money on a membership, and then if you don't cancel within 12 hours of this class start time, you get charged an additional fee. Like, I think the cancellation window should be a lot shorter, maybe like 4 hours or something like that. And then medical, I spent money. How much did I spend? I spent $121 on medical, and I'm cooking the books a little bit here. Like, as you can see, I have a $12 charge in here for Jersey Mike's, and that's because I bought that from my mom and took it to the hospital for her. I didn't ask her to like give me money for that, but since I didn't, I just put it under medical because I can just do what I want with my budget, I guess. And then I spent a lot of money on just different medical supplies and prescriptions. If we take a look at my investments, pretty good investment month, I guess. I invested $223 into my Roth IRA. I have a $165 automatic deduction or contribution that goes into that, and then I try to find extra money here and there to put towards the Roth IRA. So all of that combined to $223.33. So I'm happy about that. And then if I look at utilities, I spent a total of $187.12 on utilities. My internet went up to $69.99. It used to be $54.99. it's pointless. It's just like, but there's nothing I can do. All internets are a, like, what's the word, monopoly. So you can't really choose a different option, at least not in my area. For electric, I spent 40. Gas, I spent 40. And then my cell phone, I spent 37. So pretty straightforward there. Transportation, it was actually a pretty high transportation month for me. Like if I look here, I got gas 4 different times, which it comes out to basically once a week. And I don't typically buy gas that much. I usually buy it like twice or maybe 3 times at the most. So I'm not really sure why. I think I just drove a lot more, I guess. Clearly, I drove a lot more in the month of October, but it didn't really feel like I was doing any big trips. It just seemed like every day I was leaving the house and going on like extensive drives, I guess. So that's what happened with that. So I'm hoping I don't make a habit of this because I don't budget $171 typically for transportation. If we keep going here, 119 on subscriptions. First I was like $119, but I spent $99 on my YNAB subscription. I thought they were going to take tax out on this, but then they didn't. So I over budgeted on that, but that's a good thing to have more money in the category than you actually needed. And then I spent $20.32 on my subscriptions, $8.59 on my new Apple Care subscription, I guess, $10.74 on Spotify, and 99 cents on Apple storage. So Apple gets my money, I guess. Fun and spending, I probably more than I typically do in my fun category. What did I do? I bought a Halloween costume and I put it under fun money. My athletic subscription is going under fun money and not the subscription category because I'm going to cancel that in a month anyways. Cooking the books again, I guess I put a bakery under fun money, and I went to a bowling alley. I also bought some books, but I went to a bowling alley and that was a lot of fun. And then continuing on here, final category, I spent $89.19 on technology. I bought this microphone that I'm using. I bought a laptop stand, which I ended up returning because it didn't work. My work laptop is like 5,000 pounds and it doesn't fit I couldn't put the laptop on there without the whole thing toppling over. And then I also bought an extra mouse and keyboard to keep at my house when I'm working my job. That way it can just set up the computer in a more ergonomic way for me. So yeah, that's everything I spent in the month of October. As far as like how the month of November is going to go, I know I'm probably going to start my holiday spending for Christmas. I really want this to be like a low spend month, but honestly, it's probably going to be like an average spend month. I'm not going to buy any clothes because I honestly feel like I'm finally at a point where I have enough. Of course, like wants might pop up, but I'm going to try to curb those and just not give in to my wants for clothing. And then like, yeah, so I want it to be kind of a lower spend month, but because it's just the end of the year and Thanksgiving and Christmas are coming up, most likely it's just not going to happen. But I'm okay with that. I'm going to say I'm going to be okay with that as long as I'm spending more money on other people or planned expenses versus just spending money and then having to find the money from other categories like I did with my clothing this month. I want to be more intentional with my food spending. I'm kind of toying around with the idea of maybe just like taking cash out every week for food spending and then trying to be more diligent with using that instead of just spending on the card. Just a thought. It might mess up my reports a bit, but it might also help me just curb any impulse spending on food that I have. And then I'm hoping to maybe implement some no spend days, but also I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I had a no spend day yesterday, which was in October, so I guess that does or doesn't count. And then today is November 1st, so I was doing really well with not spending anything, but I ended up spending $5 to watch something on Peacock. So not too bad overall. And by no spend days, I mean like no, what's the word? No non-essential spending. So obviously if I have a bill come out or something like that, I'm not going to count it because I have to pay that no matter what. I don't really have a choice in the matter. But yeah, overall, I think the month of November should be a good month. I'm pretty optimistic and feeling very productive lately, and that's also why I had the energy to make this video, and sometimes I don't always do, clearly. So yes, I'm quite looking forward to the month of November. I think it should be a pretty chill month. I don't expect too much to happen, so that's what I'm hoping for. So thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please like it. It really helps out my channel. If you want to see more budgeting content like this, please subscribe. Also helps out my channel. And if you have any comments or questions, leave them down in the comments below. And also let me know how the month of October went for you. Were you over budget, under budget? I would love to hear about it. So thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.